crazy. আমার এক বাংলাদেশি ভাইয়ের রেস্টুরেন্ট এখানে আসছি খুঁজে পেয়ে গেছি। সবাই বাংলাদেশি এই রেস্টুরেন্ট এখানে আসেন সিটি আর কি। এখানে আমাদের অনার ব্রেক দিচ্ছে, এখানে ফুড অর্ডার দিয়েছি, ডেলিভার করছি। এখানে এটা হচ্ছে বাংলাদেশ রেস্টুরেন্ট, উপরে ফ্লোর আছে, ভেরি নাইস ওয়েল ডেকোরেটেড। এটা পুরো দেখাবো। সো এটাই হচ্ছে আমার লাঞ্চ, এক্সট্রা হট, হাফ পেরি পেরি, ভেরি সফট। সো এটা হচ্ছে অবস্থা। খাওয়া দাওয়া করি, পরে বাকিটা শেয়ার করবো। 1 ঘন্টা ব্রেকে আছি, 2:45 ব্যাক করতে হবে মাইক্রোতে। তো খাওয়ার পরে একটু সিটিটাকে এক্সপ্লোর করবো। সো সকাল থেকেই অনেকগুলো লেক ভিজিট করার পরে এই কেশউইক স্মল টাউন আর কি মিলে। সো সেখানে লাঞ্চ ব্রেক দিচ্ছে 1 ঘন্টার। তো আমি মাত্র লাঞ্চ খেলাম। এখানে এই দোকান মানে শপটা খুবই ভালো, বাঙালি শপ। আপনাদের দেখাচ্ছি, যদি কখনো আসেন তাহলে এই শপে খাবেন। এই কেশউইক সিটিতে যদি আসেন তাহলে এটা খাবেন। ভেরি ভেরি ফ্রেশ। এখন আমরা একটু এই রাস্তা ধরে পুরো টাউন সেন্টারটা করবো, কারণ সময় কিন্তু খুবই কম। 2:45 আমার ব্যাক করতে হবে। 2:45 এক্স্যাক্টলি আমার মাইক্রোতে ব্যাক করতে হবে। বাট অনেস্টলি দিস ইজ স্মল সিটি। চারিদিকে মাউন্টেন, ডাউনে হচ্ছে লেক, এবং এখানে এই ডাউন সাইড মাউন্টেনে এই ছোটো একটা সিটি কেশউইক। সো অ্যামেজিং সিটি, মিন স্মল সিটি যদিও, বাট ভেরি নাইস। আর এখন তো সামার টাইম, যেহেতু টুরিস্টে ভরপুর। সবচেয়ে সারপ্রাইজ সেটা যে একটা বাঙালি শপ, তাও পেরি পেরি সব পেরি পেরি চিকেন আমার খুবই ফেভারিট। তো এখানে একটা বুক শপ আছে। যাই হোক, আপনাদেরকে একটু টাউন সেন্টারটা ঘুরে দেখাবো, কারণ হাতে কিন্তু সময় একদমই কম। দেখেন এদিকে কিন্তু মাউন্টেন, ওই দেখতে পাচ্ছেন, মানে এই সিরিজ চারিদিকে মাউন্টেন আর কি। কিন্তু হাতে তো সময় নাই, তো সময় যেহেতু খুবই কম, আমার কাছে খুবই ভালো লাগছে। এই ছোট্ট একটা সিটি, বা এটা তো সুন্দর, মানে পরিবেটি খুবই ক্রাউডি, অনেক শপ আছে। সো সেটার নাম হচ্ছে কেশউইক, KESWICK, কেশউইক। সো একটু এই মাথায় যাবো, এদিকে দেখেন ওদিকে পাহাড়, মাউন্টেন। সো এটা হচ্ছে মেইন টাউন সেন্টার। সব খাওয়া সব খুঁজতে যেয়ে সময় গেল, তা না একটু ঘুরতে পারতাম এখানে। এখানে প্রচুর শপ আছে। You can see the lots of shop, restaurant, pub, bar, whatever you need. You can have. This is a city. You should live here. I mean, you can go anytime to mountain hike, or you can go for visit the lake. So everything is here. Okay, church, I think. একদম রাস্তার মাঝে চাষটা করছে। So this is so amazing. If I visit this area next time, I will stay this city. If I like this city quite. This is the only main road, and you can see around lots of shops. It's cool. There are lots of bar there. এদিকে মনে হচ্ছে মাউন্টেন। সময় কিন্তু বেশি নেই, টাইমের দিকে লক্ষ্য রেখে চলতে হবে। এই দেখেন এদিকে পুরোই পাহাড়, এটা সেন্টার রোড, পুরোই পাহাড়। বাট আমার এদিকে যাওয়ার সময় নেই, আই হ্যাভ টু গো ব্যাক। দেখি টাইম কত। এখানে এটা হচ্ছে সিনেমা, এখানে সিনেমা সবই আছে আপনার লাইফের জন্য দরকার। দেখি এদিক থেকে বের হয়ে যাবো, কারণ এদিক থেকে বের হয়ে চলে যাবো Hello. I don't know, I'm lost or not. Oh. Thank you. So, George Fisher. এখানে এটা সব হয়েছে, এখান থেকে সব কিছু আপনার এই যে আপনি যদি লিখে যান তাহলে লিখে যাওয়ার সব ইকুইপমেন্ট দরকার সেটা এখান থেকে পাবেন। আমার খুঁজে বের করতে হবে কি সেটা হচ্ছে এদিকে পাহাড়, সবদিকে পাহাড় সারাউন্ডিং everything here. You can find pahar, mountain, either mountain or the lake, and also woodland. So I don't know. I am now. The city is so cool. I love. I don't know where I am now. Oh, look at that, that's a giraffe. Big giraffe. Okay, that's fine. Having truck. Lots of shops, lots of sweet. যাক হারাই নেই আর কি, এটাই হচ্ছে কথা। এটা না, এটা কি? I think I came from here. Yeah, I think I came from here. Okay. So I can just go. So there's a little stone circle. Let's go. Oh, this view is mesmerizing view. Oh, that is cool. That is so cool. Look at that. Let's maybe এলিয়েনের কারসাজি এখানে হিস্ট্রি বলার সময় নাই আমার এখন। And to see natural beauty. Wow, that is so cool, man. That is excellent. Look at that. All the in. So this is a stone circle. You can see that it's a round shape. So that's crazy. Oh, oh my God. Let's see. So there is stones, I can see that. There's a circle of a stone. That is so cool, man. This is so cool. Oh, the drone. Huh. Someone fly the drone. I have to buy the drone, I think. That's crazy. Let's see the view. Wow. So এই সাইডে সব ভেড়ার পাল। আমি কি বলবো আর কি, অসাধারণ। দেখেন কি অবস্থা, কিছুই বলার নাই। ওয়াও, এখান থেকে হাইটটা নিচে নামে আবার উপরে যেতে হবে, শুধু এই হাঁটা। এই যে অনেক কষ্টে সেই ভেড়াকে পেয়েছি। এত বড় টেলকা, এত বড় টেল হয় না।
This area was also mentioned about it being part of the borderlands between the English and Scottish border quite a few hundred years ago, and people were a bit at loggerheads at that stage and were trying to steal each other's animals, and quite a lot of the villages around here have what's known as a peel tower, which is a
Sorry, we can't hear in the back.
Say again?
We can't hear in the
Oh,
back.
right. I've got myself a lot. Is that better?
That's better.
I'll shout a bit louder.
Yeah,
All the
thank you.
people in front. The cruise boats are very old cruise boats, and one of them is actually a steamboat. It's not used as steam now, it's powered by diesel, but it's the oldest running steamboat in the world, but it's actually powered by diesel, but it's still actually working, if you see what I mean. And all the boats, they're all slightly different, but they just all have a bit of a class of their own. And in the beginning they were used as mail boats, so they took the mail around different farms around and about, and then in the 19th century when more tourists came, the tourists hopped on the mail boats to have a little trip around the lake, and then when the mail went a different way they just changed into tourist boats, and that's what they are now. And the views from top of the Lake Cooley Bridge down to the bottom at Glenredding, where we're about to go, are really magnificent. Also, there's lots of mountains down here. Up to the right we have one of the over 3,000 feet mountains, Helvellyn, and on the banks, the foothills of Helvellyn, there was lead and silver mining. And I think Ullswater is a healthy lake, but in the very depths of it, it's quite dead, and I think that's because the lead seeped down right to the bottom.
Oh, this is so cool. পাহাড় আর লেক আর কিছুই নেই, এত সাধারণ, এত মাইন্ড ব্লোয়িং ভিউ আর হতেই পারে না। এত বড় পাহাড় দেখেন, পাহাড়ের ডাউনে এই সুন্দর লেক, পানিগুলো কি একদম ফ্রেশ পানি, মানে খাওয়া যায়, ফ্রেশ ওয়াটার, এখানে আমরা ফিশিং করা যায়। So cool.
Overhaul in that not only have they resurfaced it so there won't be any potholes on this one, but also they shored up the sides further up the hill to make it safer. track with a huge coach and horses coming down it with people walking down either side. It's been a throughway, a thoroughfare for a very long time. Somebody going slower than me. It's unusual. So, a little story about the Kirkstone Pass. Anybody notice the shape of the tower at St Patrick's Church? Well, it's an oblong with a point on the top, and those are the kind of towers that exist in Scotland. And in Scotland they call a church a kirk. And at the top of the hill here on the skyline, coming up from this direction, there's a stone that sticks up in a minute, which is a bit of an oblong with a point on it, and they thought it looked a bit like the Scottish Kirk Tower. They called it the Kirkstone, and that's what gave its name to the Kirkstone Pass. And when they built St Patrick's Church, they tried to copy that shape. So I'll tell you when it comes into view. Just on the skyline right now, you may be able to see when you're sitting now, or you may not be able to, but at some point going up the hill, you will be able to see it. So on the skyline now, there's a rock sticking up, an oblong with a point to it, and that is the Kirkstone. surface, creating lots of springs. And of course, in the olden days, that's where people built their houses, near water. And we'll see lots of old, very old buildings as we go through this village. So at first, there's the big white house over there. That's used to be called the White House as a hotel, but its name was changed to the Mortal Man. The landlady, Sally Burkett, had a visit from somebody who wrote her a little ditty, and it started off, "O mortal man that lives by bread, what is it makes thy nose so red? Thou silly fool that looks so pale, 'tis drinking Sally Burkett's ale." And she loved that so much, she changed the name of it to the Mortal Man. Now you'll see again old cottage here on the left with this very interesting horizontal stones at the gable end. And if you're on the left hand side of the bus and you can see down at the side, you'll see this interesting mark on the side of the house. It's like a flat line with three little lines coming out underneath, and it's called a benchmark, and it was used to work out heights of hills, a bit like the triangulation points are done now. And this property on the right, very small windows. In the old days you had to pay a tax to have larger windows, so the old properties are the ones with the small windows. On the right we've got this little well. It's not a well, it's actually a spring, but it's called Margaret's Well. And on the left here we've got what's called a bank barn, where there's a ramp that goes up to the upper level of the building, and then you go around the back to get in at the lower level. And the idea was that the animals were on one level and the feed on another level, and the farmer could just leave some of his animals in that sort of barn. If you look down to the left, you'll see some really higgledy-piggledy cottages down there, very old ones.
Mm-hmm.
They look like they're falling down, some of those. Coming up on the right in the hedge, another one of these springs with water coming out of it. James as well. Obviously there are lots more springs other than the ones that they put stone around. Now if you look over to the left, you'll see one of these buildings which has got these horizontal stones on the gable end, but it's got very modern windows, and that's because it's a brand new building. It's only built in the last few years, and it's an extension to the hotel that's behind there. And they obviously, to build in this village is quite difficult, so they had to do something in keeping with the surrounding properties, and that's what they obviously chose to do. The plans were passed. This little bit up here is probably the oldest part of the village, and if you look up to the right, there's a little lane that goes up, and you'll see the date 1692. Start looking left. and said, "This is all my land. All that you can see is my land." Well, it actually wasn't, but it made a good story for him. And ever since then, this has been called Kaiser's View. And when you look down, where you see the islands in the middle, that's more or less where the ferry goes across. And
Yeah.
you'll see boats, and that's the marina down at Bowness. And beyond, the higher hill that's on the left-hand side of the lake, that's called Gummers How. A very short walk to the top from the road gives you the most magnificent view up Windermere and to the lakes mountain, because they're not quite as high as the very high mountains further back. And I live about 40 minutes outside Lake District, and I can see the Langdale Pikes come down my main street on a clear day. A very distinctive shape. The Earl of Lonsdale I mentioned lived, or not lived, but he had a hunting lodge just around here. And if you look across the hedge, across to the right, you'll see that really interesting building over there. Now the Holbeck Gill Hotel, quite a luxurious hotel.
So I think from early morning to till evening, I have a very beautiful day. I had a 10-lake visit with lots of mountains, and I think